I put this out there. GameSpot gave Red Dead 9 out of 10. And Zelda, 10 out of 10. Hey, welcome to episode 91 of Front Seat Gamer. I'm Nick. I'm here with Saveun.
Yo.
And Blake.
What's up?
You were about to do something different there,
Yep,
and then
but
you
I
backed
decided
up at
not
the
to.
last second. What were you going to do? Let's
Nothing.
get it out. Get it out there.
Nothing. I was going to say, what's up, what's up, what's up?
Dang, I wish you had. All right.
Well, you brought it out of me.
Yeah,
So
I'm glad. Oh, I'm really glad, in fact. All right, we've been playing some games. I've been playing. I'll get through what I've been playing real fast because
Is it a mobile game?
I've been playing some mobile games, but
Have you played any more 80 Days, or was that it?
No, I haven't in a while.
That was a $7
feel-
game, wasn't
It
it?
was, and I feel like I got pretty much as much out of it as I think I will. Like
Mm.
it was fun. But like I did like 2 full playthroughs,
Yeah.
and I won both times, and I'm like okay.
Yeah.
That's
That's the thing with that game is that it's got like all this like story stuff that you could just never see because you
Yes.
finish the game once or twice.
Yeah, it seems like every city has
Yeah.
has unique stuff, and it's a significant. The problem is there's no reason to visit those places.
Yeah, yeah. If they're so out of the way, then
Would
why
we-
even bother?
I would love if they had some extra game modes where it's like, visit every city
Mm.
and see how fast you can do it, as opposed to this is your deadline.
Yeah, it's because of the deadline that you
Yeah.
feel that you have to go what you think is the quickest way,
Right.
and you can't go to like Sydney, Australia, or something.
Or like, what if there was like, the world's at war and you have to visit all these places and
Mm.
collect secret parts for a weapon or
Yeah.
something like, or something that was like a spin on that using the same functional
Yeah.
engine, but
Yeah.
whatever.
It's a shame, and that game's been out for ages, so it's basically like that's the game.
Yep.
There are no more updates for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been playing Mario Party. I've also been playing Mario Odyssey,
Oh yeah.
which I hadn't played in a while because my wife gets nauseous when we play, and so I was like trying to not play without her,
Yeah.
and then I gave up, and I started playing without her. So
Shit.
it's really good. That game's great. There's just so much to find in that game.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful.
It does look really good.
It is really good.
Yeah.
You getting some stars?
I mean,
You get moons?
Moons?
Yeah.
Oh
you
my
get,
goodness. What happened to stars?
Power moons. It seems like they've sort of they try to do a different thing for each major Mario release. Mario 64 was stars. Super Mario Sunshine was shines, if you recall.
Mm-hmm.
Galaxy was. Are they stars again?
I don't know. I haven't really played one of those since 64.
I think it was stars again, but they may have called them.
Yeah, I guess stars are sort of like the power up now. Do they treat it like that? You're invincible for a certain period of time?
No, they don't have that kind of star. Do they have?
That's Mario Kart Star.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that was like Mario 1, 2, and 3. Stuff,
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
you're invincible.
And in the 2D Mario games, with like the new Super Mario Brothers, that sort of style, I think
Mhm.
they still have the invincibility stars, but
Okay.
they don't for the 3Ds.
Old Mario, you just got a flag at the end, right?
I mean, that was the end. Yeah, the original
Yeah.
Mario, you just go for the flag.
But you did have a high score and stuff.
Yeah. But it was just like, how high can you jump on this flagpole?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mario 2 was, I think you just cross a line, or no, I think there's a door at the end of every level, and then
Cross the line.
Mario 3, that you do cross a line, but then there's like a special like box that you have to hit,
Yeah,
and
buddy.
you match these cards. Man,
Right.
Super Mario 3 is
Which-
such a great game.
Which Super Mario is the play? One of them's is actually
What?
a play and not like a real.
Is it 3 that you're thinking of?
I don't know.
Because it
There's-
opens up like
oh.
yeah, I
know what
think
you're talking about.
in the canon of Mario, in the lore, the deep
Yeah.
lore of Mario, that's
Mhm.
play,
Uh,
and that's not an actual like adventure.
I think 2 and 3 both adhere to this.
Yeah.
Am I misremembering?
I remember 3 opens up with curtains.
3 definitely has curtains, but I feel like 2 might also have curtains.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I remember the character select screen, you're picking between your characters. And I think that's opens with curtains.
Uh-huh.
Whereas you don't select characters in 3.
Hmm.
Anyway, a game came out this week which I'm sure you guys are dying to talk about.
Yo.
Have you guys been playing it?
Yeah.
We're talking about Red Dead Redemption 2.
I was trying to think of another game.
Yeah, me too.
that
I
came
wanted
out,
to make a joke.
No, I think all the other game companies right now, we're getting out of the way.
It does. This happens with Call of Duty as well, or
Yeah.
at least it used to, where people would announce the release dates, then Call of Duty would announce the release date, and everyone would change their release dates around it. Well, I haven't been playing it because I don't have either of the consoles that's come out on. But I know you guys have both been playing it. In fact, Saveun, you took a day off work.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I had to.
Yep.
Man,
next
yeah.
league is going to be a day late.
Because I pull so much weight around work. Basically.
True. True.
No normal maps got done that day.
Jeez, man, should I just go right into my Red
Yeah,
Dead
man.
story?
Let's start talking about it.
Man, I'm in deep, guys. I was in real deep. When they
It
announced,
sounds like you're in trouble.
Well, okay,
You-
first I want to hear, because you went to the midnight opening.
oh yeah, that
How
was
was
pretty
that?
funny. Well, I was gonna go even further back.
Oh, shit.
Did you dress up?
to when they no? So yeah, they announced like those the packs that they had. They had 3 different tiers. I got the Ultimate Edition and the Collector's Box, so that was cool. Go to the midnight launch, and it was weird. It was very airy.
Yeah.
I drove in.
where was this?
This is in Henderson Mall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
DED?
right near work.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, right there.
Sure.
So I drove in, and actually, on the day, so before this even started, I had ordered a new chair. I had ordered a new chair, and they were like,
Was this for Red Dead?
"No."
Where
It
you're
was,
like, my butt needs to be in perfect condition.
it
for
was
this."
just for like my back because they're just having issues. But
Okay.
anyway, they were like, "Yeah, it's like 2-3 weeks out," and I was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." But the morning of Thursday, Red Dead Day.
Yeah.
They gave me a call and they were like, "Hey, so your chair's in, and you can pick it up today if you want." And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, yeah, I'm bouncing early. Like,
Perfect timing.
yeah, there's my
Yeah.
thing. So Red Dead chair dropped same day.
Oh, what a
Anyway.
what a great day for you.
So
All your Christmases at once.
So I bailed. I think at like 3:30 from work. Pick up my chairs. Great. I snuck in a quick nap.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, you got prepared. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, yep, I'm going to be up all night.
And
Yep.
so I drove out to Henderson Mall at about 11:30, and it was really airy, like driving into the car park. There were maybe like 4 or 5 other cars there, and I was like, "This is weird," because I swear, like the Grand Theft Auto launch night, there were more cars.
Hmm.
And anyway, I get out of my car, go into the mall, and I see another group of people walking at the same time. And there's a security guard at the door. I start walking in, and I see another guy walking towards me, and he's just got a huge grin on his face. And he's just walking out. I'm like, weird, because I maybe just showed up 15 minutes early, like maybe quarter to
Oh wow.
midnight.
Had they started selling it early?
So
Did they break embargo? Oh my
So-
goodness.
so I start walking in, and then yeah, there's no queue. Like at the Grand Theft Auto launch,
yeah.
everyone was just hanging out till midnight.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it was real awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, people just like leaning up against walls and just keeping to themselves until midnight. But
Uh-huh.
here, it was a fucking ghost town. And start walking in, and yeah, they're just like dishing out copies.
Wow.
And
They're not even waiting until midnight.
yeah, they 10 minutes before midnight.
Oh, okay.
I get my thing.
The thing is, like that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. There's a ton of install time.
Yep.
You've got to
Oh, yeah.
probably download a day one patch. You don't have to, but you probably should.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know like the day before or 2 days before, people were already preloading that game. So
Mhm.
it's like if you go to the midnight launch to pick up your hard copy,
Yeah.
you
it's-
still have
doesn't
hours
really-
and hours
yeah.
and hours before you can play it.
Yeah, so what happened was I got my game, and it was like 10 minutes before, and I was like, dude, can I take a photo of this? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I had posted the stuff. It's a cool shot.
Yeah.
And he was like, don't even post it to social media. And I was like, and he was like, yeah, just wait till midnight. And I was like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
yeah, fair. And so I
Don't
picked-
get us into. Don't knock on us, bro.
And he was like, don't talk about it on your podcast. so then I
He
get my
doesn't
stuff.
know about our podcast.
I get my stuff. I go home, and I'm just giddy. Like the drive home was in the lead up to it, I didn't even think I was gonna make it. Like I thought I was gonna like get taken out in a car accident or something.
You're just
Why?
Like,
It was
I
real
thought this
weird.
day
I
would
don't know.
never come.
Like 2 weeks out from the game being launched,
Yeah.
I had sleeping problems. Like it was,
Because you were too excited.
I would just think of it, like in the back of my mind. And I was
Oh
getting
my
up real early.
goodness,
I'd check out like the Rockstar website and just
Oh,
forums
dude.
and stuff. Oh, dude, guys, I went in real deep.
Did you ever see that South Park episode where Cartman tried to freeze
Yeah.
himself last time?
Yeah, for the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like that. Anyway, so I wasn't sleeping very well. Get my game back. Put it on my disc. Dude, it took an hour
Yeah.
Yeah.
for it to install.
Yeah.
Well, that was rough.
There was no
But-
patch to download though, so that was good.
Yep,
I
yep.
don't remember there being a patch.
It
There
was all
was a
good.
day one patch apparently.
If there was, it was didn't know
it
like
might
the
not have been
install took
big.
longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was really quick.
Mm.
That patch anyway. But it was rough, man. Like I don't stay up late normally.
So what time did you get home?
Got home at maybe like 20 past midnight, and then
Oh yeah.
didn't start playing till about 1:20.
Yep.
How
long did you play that night?
Maybe an hour and a half, and I was just real
Yeah.
tired. And then I
That's that's kind of a bummer, right? Because you're like so excited.
Yeah.
And your mind is willing to keep playing it, but your body's like, nah, man, you
yeah,
gotta sleep.
yeah,
Midnight launches are always a bit of a bummer for that reason.
Mm.
Like, yeah, no one's gonna be like in real good unless this is all like this is just your normal habit of like you
Yeah.
go to bed at 6 a.m. or whatever it
Yeah.
is.
yeah. You're doing like graveyard shifts or
Yeah.
whatever.
If it wasn't the install time, it would be cool. Like, because
but even then,
I've been to midnight launches
2.5 hours, which is fine.
Yeah, but I've been to like midnight launches for games in the past, and
Yeah.
back when installs were like a couple of minutes, and then you'd be playing for like ages.
Yeah. I remember the World of Warcraft midnight launches where you would rush home, install it,
Yep.
and then deal with server issues for the
Yep.
next 2 days.
Oh my
2
god!
days.
Yep.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that bad, and I had my collector's thing, so I was like rummaging through that while I was installing.
Cool.
And all the while I was reading like Rockstar reviews, and there have been a lot of like articles just talking about development, all that kind of stuff.
The
How they
yeah,
created the
100,
world.
100 hours.
Oh yeah, that controversy
Yeah,
too. Yeah. Did you want to
One
talk
of our
about that?
listeners, I haven't read it yet, but linked us a Polygon article, I think, about something about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there have been complaints, and like so,
Yeah.
one of the Hauser brothers said that they had been doing 100-hour weeks several times throughout
Mm.
2018, and then that created controversy, and then they released a statement clarifying that it was specifically the senior writing team who was doing these 100-hour
Mhm.
weeks, and that the rest of the staff were working normal hours, or if they were staying late, it's because they were passionate about the game.
Mm.
And then other employees were like, "Nah,
Yeah.
we have to do crunch."
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
It's kind of a bummer because they're their own publisher, right?
Take-Two
Take
is
Two
their
is their
publisher.
Oh yeah, but do they not own Take-Two? Is are they not kind of the same? Like how?
like Blizzard slash?
Well, yeah, or Bethesda and like what is
I
it?
don't-
ZeniMax? They're kind of like the same thing.
Don't know. I'm
No,
not- I don't
Rockstar's
know.
its own kind of
Yeah, because
studio.
I
and
thought
they-
like if Rockstar was like, nah, we need to.
Take-Two definitely
this,
publishes
they'd
other
be like,
games.
"Yeah,
Like
right."
they've got they have some basketball games.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So it's like
But I thought that they were like kind of the same company, but Take-Two is like the publishing
publishing arm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
We could look.
But
into it.
but I guess what I'm trying to say is that if Rockstar wanted to take more time, no one's going to say no.
well, they
I-
did take more time.
Yeah, I think they could take more time no matter what. But
Yeah.
I think that at some point they have to announce a deadline because they have to start promoting the game.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, that's true.
and like promoting specifically the launch date.
Yeah,
And
So-
once you start putting money behind that, it's very
Mm.
hard to
yeah,
change.
yeah.
We talked about it a little bit, and the unfortunate thing is, like, crunch is not unheard of in the video game
No, it's very
industry.
common, in fact.
And VFX has it quite bad too.
I think the VFX industry it's actually the worst, isn't it? Because aren't they just
Sometimes.
crunching all the time? Like, isn't that their
Yeah, crazy deadlines for ads and things like
yeah?
that.
Because that stuff from when Life of Pi came out.
Oh yeah, and all
Yeah.
the studios
yeah,
closed.
yeah, and
Yeah.
because like they're basically like underbidding for jobs.
That's right. That stems from the way that they get those contracts.
Yeah.
which is they're saying we'll do it for this amount of money.
Yeah. But then they're also trying to do it faster than others, so everyone has to work
Yeah. It,
Well,
it
'Cause
really
the speed
is.
is the money, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
yeah.
Um,
I've been hearing a lot of talk specifically on Reddit about like they need to unionize.
Mm.
And how do you guys feel about that?
I think government in New Zealand here pretty much said we can't.
Well, so New Zealand is a different case. So I mean the game development like scene in New Zealand is tiny.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the reason why we can't is because Weta and the government kind of came together and said, this was around the time The Hobbit.
This was the
You know?
Hobbit law you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But that can change. Like
Yeah,
laws.
and
can
there
change.
was
Sure.
talk of it changing back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And in fact, I think that those laws have been softened
yeah.
already. I
But
think
it
we
was
were
it was to
employed-
keep costs down for overseas studios to film here. I
Yeah.
thought that was
yeah
that
to
was
attract more
it.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. But like in the U.S., where the game development scene is much larger,
Mm.
like, or even like Europe, Rockstar as studios by themselves are 2,000 plus employees. So like,
Mm.
it's not unreasonable for, especially unions of specific disciplines to form. Like a programming union and a art union and
Yeah.
whatever.
You know what's funny is there is an animations union that
Oh,
was
really?
forged like because of Disney. So
Oh, wow.
animators,
Yeah.
Oh yes,
animators do have a union, but like every other artist.
but is that 3D animation?
yeah,
as
it
well?
includes 3D.
When was
Okay,
that
that's cool.
filmed? That wasn't in Disney's book, was it?
That would have been around. Like I'm sure, Walt would have pushed for it or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because I remember like in the Walt Disney book, like them talking about how many hours they did,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and
For the love of it, you mean?
yeah,
Because that's the other side.
basically, yeah.
That's the other side of the whole
Mm.
thing. Like, yes, it sucks that people are having to put in a lot of hours, like unpaid sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If it's unpaid, then it's a major problem.
it really sucks.
Yeah.
But even if it's not unpaid, even if you're getting paid for that overtime, if it's mandatory, like you still have a life outside
Yeah.
of work, and it's hard to maintain that life outside of work,
If
even if you're
it's-
making good money.
If it's ongoing, like, because you hear these stories of like 2 or 3 years of crunch, and it's like that's not crunch,
Yeah.
because crunch is usually like a few weeks at the end, at least in my experience.
Yeah. Well, we have much shorter turnaround
Yeah, yeah.
cycles. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, if it's like, all right, we're in for like 2 years of crunch, well, that's a lifetime almost.
yeah, that's just working too much.
Yeah, that's just yeah.
that's all. What you're describing is
Yeah,
no work-life balance.
But then and then you're expected to do that. It's like,
Yeah.
I remember when Gameloft first came to New Zealand, there was news articles about their first game because they really wanted to like make a impression,
Yeah.
and they were like expecting people to do like so much overtime, and people actually former employees that we've had have said that they were expected to do so many hours of overtime.
Mm.
And I think that's the thing that I don't like is that the part where you're expected to do it. Like if you just want to do extra hours, which we do all the time anyway.
Yeah.
Because we like the game that we work on.
And we want our work to be good.
Yeah, and we want it to be good. Then that's fine. But if it's like, all right, you're expected to do this, then
It can change. It not only can it change the dynamic of you working there, it can change
Mm.
the dynamic of your work itself.
yeah,
Because it's no longer about you wanting to make it good. It's about you just trying to get it done.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a big, messy, blurry blemish on the games industry worldwide, pretty much. Oh well. So back to Red Dead.
Yeah, so that happened, and
Yeah.
whatever. Like nothing really changes. The
No,
industry
it'll-
still like
yeah. It that kind of thing happens like
It's a matter of time,
after a
though.
lot of releases, right?
It's
Like,
gonna happen. There will be changes, and it's gonna be mandated by law. It's just a matter
Yeah.
of like how bad does it have to get.
yeah.
You know, I'd like to see something, but so be it. Like, yeah,
Whoa! Are you saying you're pro union?
something. I don't even know what a union is. Like,
It's
do I
so-
get benefits or something?
The way my understanding of how unionization works, and this is probably going to make me sound like an idiot, is basically you pay a little bit of your salary towards this body that is governed by people in your industry, or who were in your industry, and the idea is as a large body of people in this discipline, you have the power to say we won't work unless certain
I see.
requirements are met, because you're all part of it.
Right.
Yeah, that's where strikes and whatnot come from. And then like also, the reason you're paying this money is because, oftentimes when you strike, rather than not have any money for anybody in the industry, you have this pool of money that people get during that strike.
I see.
So you're not all starving.
Oh, I
see.
always wondered about that.
It doesn't necessarily last super long.
Yep, you're right, Nick. No, I'm not for this now. Anyway, back to Rockstar. The game. The game comes out. I play it. I was tired, man. I was real tired. So I probably played an hour and a half in. I didn't get very far. I was still on the mountaintop. Everyone probably knows.
The snowy mountain.
Yeah, everyone would have. Like, if you follow any Red Dead news, it opens with that.
That is like the tutorial zone, basically, right?
Yeah.
It's really just them wanting to show off their snow tech, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty impressive.
That's no thing. It's cool. But
It's really cool.
what I kind of liked about that is that you start off in a storm. You can't see any vista. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
And then it's like slowly over time, as the storm leaves, like more and more of this world is revealed to you, and you're like, Jesus Christ, this just goes on and on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite nice.
Kind of like in Zelda when you're on that first island. Like, go ahead.
Yeah, it's visually it's stunning. I can't. It's really cool. Like technically, I'm really pleased just to walk around in that game.
Yeah.
Just like walking and looking at things is nice.
Yep.
Like I really enjoy that.
Is there anything visually bad that stood out to you?
Smoke.
There are some. Dude, it's a huge game. There are some bad parts for sure.
There was one part that I got to last night that I was like, I think this is a bug, and it was I went to sell a horse, and in the stable there's a cutscene that it looks like all the lighting and shadows is just off the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll see that there are occasional bugs too.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not without bugs, things popping in, that kind of
Right.
It's not. It's definitely not flawless, but the
man,
lighting is. It's incredible.
There were some scenes at night.
Yeah.
Like after a bar fight.
Yeah.
And I was standing on like the sort of the sidewalk, I guess you call it, where all the wood is, and it's like you see the glow from you see the light from the torches like glistening off this mud, and there's like dripping like off the awnings of the buildings, and I was just like, this looked really, really nice.
Yeah, like mud looks
great.
really cool.
Yeah.
Just like I'd go, you look at a bridge and you can see that the grass has been reduced to mud, but then also mud and horseshoes and wagon trails are just like on that bridge. It's really cool to see that kind of detail.
I saw a GIF, because that's the only way I have any real interaction with this game, of a dude. I think he was on his horse trying to like get onto a platform or something, and then his horse lost balance, and so that it fell backwards into the mud with him on it, and it left a big horse-shaped mud print, which I thought was pretty neat.
Yeah.
There's some good physics, but there's also some real wacky physics going on in there as well.
Well, there are definitely instances where you break it a little bit.
Yeah, but this is typical of pretty much any game, right?
Yeah.
There's never been a perfectly physical, good simulation.
It's pretty. I was surprised at how much of a simulation it is. Like, remember
on
how
the horse?
Well, just the whole game itself. Like the thing of like, all your big weapons are stored on your horse, and when you get off your horse, you have to remember if you want your like shotgun or your rifle, you got to grab it off your horse.
Yeah,
it's not just instantly on you, because like after playing Last of Us, where he's just carrying everything in his like backpack, it's a thing that you got to remember. And it's like, that's just like real life. If I store stuff on my horse, I got to go get it.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to bring the focus of this Red Dead talk down a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, do you want to talk about dialogue real quick?
Sure.
Real quick.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, again, I haven't looked into it.
Well, what's funny?
The real question is, who gets lunch?
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
So, I guess what I took away from what you wanted was more text to be seen on screen to the user, so you could really just you know what you're gonna say towards whoever's talking to you, right? Your response, you know.
It's more about making a judgment call about how that person will respond to the thing I want to say. So and making choosing my text based on on the character I'm talking to, not based on the action I want to perform. If that makes sense. So, for example, if someone looks like a maniac, and I don't want to get into a fight, I have 2 text options, and I have to choose which one won't get me into a fight, as opposed to just the button that says de-escalate.
So the first time you actually get to see some of this dialogue is when you're riding out to the O'Driscolls out in the Alps.
Yeah.
And
Alps.
well, on the mountains.
In the snow.
Yeah, in the snow. You're in a blizzard actually.
Yeah.
Sorry, not the Alps. And I think his name's Micah. He asked you a question, and and the text appears.
Oh, that's good.
Text, yeah.
What does it say?
Of your actual, I don't remember, but it's like actual like response, just 2 of them.
Yeah.
Mapped to certain buttons, and yeah, you get to choose and
That's
respond.
fantastic. That's
and
much
talk to them.
more interesting to me.
Well, yeah. So it has
That's great.
that like when you need to give a specific answer.
Thank you for listening, Rockstar. I'm glad you listened to our podcast.
That was what all that 100 hours of crunch were, because they heard this
They
podcast.
heard
and
that,
were like,
oh
shit.
God, we have to rewrite this all.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Nick doesn't like it.
But there are also instances where and I heard people talk about this, like you want to just not equip your handgun when you're in town.
Yeah.
So one
Sort of
thing
like
that
in
happened to
Skyrim.
me, I don't know. I wouldn't even have.
Well, they don't have handguns,
Kind of,
but,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you don't want to have your weapon out because
Yeah,
people get angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I walk out of a bar and I had my pistol on me.
Why was your Why did you have your pistol out?
In a bar.
It was
Were you in
just,
a bar fight?
It was just on me. And hey,
Uncle
hey,
Harry,
I'm a
what do you
cowboy.
want?
I'm a cowboy. Anyway, I walked out and I went to greet a guy, and it's L2, so I L2'd it, and I must have just nerfed up buttons,
Yeah.
but I ended up like just
Raising your gun.
basically
Oh,
aiming
boy.
my gun at the guy, and he
Yeah,
was like,
'cause-
"What the hell?"
Boy.
And of course, like at that point, he's just he pulls out his gun.
Oh.
Oh no, he started pushing me. He started like trying to fight me, and I was like, "Oh
Wait,
no,
so
no,
you're
no."
holding a gun in his face, and he
He
says,
pushed me.
This is a good idea to push him.
No, he pushed me like straight away. Like get
Like, get out of
Get-
my
yeah.
face with that.
yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
sure,
exactly. And then I was like, oh no. So I go onto my weapon wheel. I go into my hands mode, and another guy he runs away to tell the sheriff what's going on. This is like late at night too.
Yeah.
Anyway, the guy runs away, and then I try to look at the guy and try to defuse it,
Yeah.
and I think I got like, whoa, hey, I don't want. But the guy's just pushing me, so it
Uh-huh.
interrupts my conversation. And I'm like, oh no, I can't say anything. So I end up just running away.
Uh-huh.
I jump onto my horse, I gallop away, and then he's chasing me.
Oh, wow.
That seems ill-advised, right? If
it-
someone holds a gun at you and you don't chase after them,
Yeah, but that guy's
Wait.
probably got a gun as well.
I think he might have. But
then why was he pushing you? Get your gun
but
out.
anyway, I wanted to resolve it, so
Because you're in town.
I wanted to resolve the issue. So I went away.
Yeah.
He started walking back. So
Yeah.
then I got off my horse and I saw the sheriff.
Yeah.
And the wanted system's completely different now. And the first step is interrogate. And so I walk to the sheriff and I'm like, hey, I could probably explain my situation.
I
Maybe.
pressed the wrong button.
Oh yeah.
I had
So
my
walked
gun
up.
out, but it was accidental. But then I
So-
pointed it at the guy, but that was also
I meant to
accidental.
shake his hand, but I pointed a gun at him instead. I forgot I was holding my gun.
I wanted to signal something over his shoulder, but I was holding my gun.
Yeah.
I end up walking towards the sheriff and he has his rifle pointed at me. And he's like,
So
hey,
you started pushing him immediately.
I was there was quite a bit of distance
Yeah,
between
yeah,
us. And I was like trying to just diffuse the whole situation.
Were you
Like,
just bamming? How was that
I was just
happening? Were
spamming
you-
circle, man. Like diffuse.
Oh yeah, so a dialogue option was coming up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he was like, get out of here. Like get away or like shit's gonna go down.
Sure.
Mm.
And yeah, I couldn't really resolve it. I just had to go away. But what's cool was no one died.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was a minor
It
altercation.
wasn't just instantly like 2 stars,
Yeah, yeah.
and then the cops are just trying to murder you.
Yeah, and there's no bond on me. There's no
Yeah.
bounty or anything. So it's
Oh,
cool.
cool.
Like I just go away.
Yeah.
I went back to camp and came back the next day.
That is that is
That is neat.
That is pretty cool. I really like that. I haven't had any trouble yet.
Oh yeah.
The only mistake I ever did was in the snow when you were like creeping down the hill to get to this enemy's like camp.
Mm.
I was just like testing out my buttons,
Mm.
and there's a fire from the hip button.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
And so I just hit that, and like gunshot,
Yeah.
like you hear it across the whole valley,
Yeah.
and all the people in the camp are like, "Oh, there's someone out there!" And then it was like, "Oh man!"
I
And then
think I did
everyone
the
had to
same
run
thing.
down the hill to like get into this fight.
I think I did the same thing. It was, I think Dutch was like, "Hey, Arthur, why don't you go out there and take some cover?" And I was already taking cover, but close to Dutch,
Yeah,
and I accidentally shot, and he was like, "What? What are you doing?"
Yeah,
and then
he's-
everyone just started running in.
yeah, yeah.
And-
That's
and
yeah,
so
that's
that was
exactly
cool.
what happened to me. Except I was all the way at the top of the hill when that happened. Everyone had to run all the way down because it's supposed to be like this infiltration, almost like you
Yeah.
get in really into
I know
their
the
camp,
one.
Yeah.
and then you start the
It sounds
gunfight.
it sounds like what the game is trying to make it is like you're this professional cowboy like rustler kind of
Yeah.
you know what you're doing, but the way you guys describe it, because of your incompetence, is just like a slapstick comedy where it's like duck. What was that?
Yeah,
well, the one thing that I've seen a lot, and I'm not gonna look at reviews now because I wanted to see the Digital Foundry like tech analyst, but they ended up showing a whole bunch of like Saint Denis, like the city.
Okay.
And it looked
okay.
and it looked way awesome, and I
Oh,
just
man.
wanted to like
Yep.
experience that. What they talked about was oh shit, what was I talking about?
I don't know.
Red Dead.
Yeah. You're talking about you had shot and made a bunch of people run downhill.
Oh yeah, it's the controls are very overwhelming. There's a lot.
Yep.
There's a lot to it.
This
man.
is a problem with a lot of modern games, I think,
Mm.
and this is something I've actually really enjoyed on the Switch, because so many games on the Switch are designed to be played with the microcontrollers.
Mhm.
It's very rarely confusing, even when you switch to like a big controller. But there are a lot of games nowadays where you to do certain actions, and in fairness, Path of Exile is guilty of this as well. You have to like hold down one button and then press another specific button to
Yeah.
get to a specific menu or
Yeah,
do
there's-
whatever it is. And
There's
it's like-
definitely that. Like to talk to anyone, you hold down left trigger,
Mhm.
and that brings up like if you can dialogue with anyone.
yeah.
And you can walk around like that, and
Right.
just sort of like
I think that we talked about this a little bit last week, Saveun, where we were talking about Skyrim's dialogue and they sort of, when you're talking to someone, you are more or less taken out of the world. You're put into this like dialogue setting where
Mhm.
you're face to face with an NPC and you're switching between options. And I don't think it pauses the game world, but you're not wandering around. You're not really able to do anything other than talk. And while that feels less natural,
Mm.
it is clean. And I think there's something to be said for clean systems where it's not overwhelming trying to just navigate walking through a town.
Right. I wanted to bring that up also,
Mm.
and I don't like that
Yeah,
It-
and
it-
that's fair.
in the sense that but I get it. Like for dialogue and just focusing on dialogue, it's awesome. Like yes, you just zoom in on it, you just focus on that dialogue, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But the Red Dead style is like, if you don't respond within a certain time, like
Yeah.
it's just gonna be
Yeah.
natural. Like
yeah.
he'll walk away or something.
Yeah.
Something will happen.
And you, when you're walking through town, like just random civilians, all you can do is either greet them or antagonize them.
Yeah.
Right. So and greet is just like, "How's it going there,
Right.
partner?" And so you
Well,
just
shouldn't-
walk through
why
doing
is,
that.
Why is antagonize even an option while you're walking through town? Hey, idiot!
I don't know. I don't know yet.
Have you tried it?
I've only antagonized one person,
Huh.
and they were tied up, so they couldn't do anything.
That's so mean. What are you gonna do about it?
yeah. And the dude's like, "Just let me go."
Whatever, idiot.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I'm gonna. Yeah. But like, you do get these random encounters out in the wilderness where I would be more okay with antagonizing people to see where it leads. But in town, it's like you're trying to keep a low profile and not alert the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually really love the idea that like dialogue and character interactions are fluid with the rest of the game world, but it does introduce this problem of there are only so many buttons on a controller, and
Yeah.
there are so many features and ways to interact with the world, and
Yeah.
I don't know what the long-term solution for that is,
Yeah, it's interesting.
because I think it's a big barrier of entry for new gamers. Like I would not feel comfortable introducing Red Dead to my wife, for example. She's not like a new gamer, but she doesn't play like a lot of console games. I don't think she would have a good time with that many controls.
Yeah, it definitely, like you said, it is overwhelming, and especially like because I had just been playing Last of Us right after, like right before, and so my muscle memory is going for Last of Us buttons.
Yeah, and
they're not the same at all.
Zelda had quite a few controls, but I don't think it was quite to the same level. And it's obviously Red Dead is not the sole like. It's one of many games that are facing this issue of how do we interact with so many things.
But it's not as bad as like you fear, you know.
No, I'm sure
like
it's not.
But it is overwhelming at first, but gradually you sort of like, and I think that's why this tutorial zone is so long.
But like I'm thinking, 10 years from now or whatever, when Red Dead 3 comes out and there's like even more ways to interact with the world.
You just plug it into your brain. USB right in the forehead.
Okay. What was it? Johnny Mnemonic? That with that the head jack?
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves has been in multiple movies where you have a port in your head.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? I can't think of any other actor who's been in multiple movies where you plug something into the back of your head.
Not many movies with ports in people's heads.
No. Probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Red Dead. So you're saying you've got lots of controllers. You're controls wandering around the city.
Yeah,
you're stumbling through because you're learning.
Like I've played it for I don't know 15 hours now.
That's a fair bit considering it came out
2
days ago.
Yeah. And those were like the only two notable mistakes.
Like you get used to it though; it's fine. Once you get used to it, the thing for me that I'm still sort of struggling with is like the radial menu, and because you have to hold down something to bring it up, and then you have to press another button to like flick to another menu, but you have to keep holding that down.
Yeah,
and that gets a little bit annoying.
Do they pause the game when you're doing menu stuff?
It slows down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it slows down a lot, so you're fine.
Because I think I'm trying to remember how Zelda does it. Because they have a similar radial menu-ish system.
I think Zelda pauses.
I don't remember, honestly. I would prefer games.
I remember
that
changing
pause
stuff on the fly
quickly.
in Zelda. Yeah.
Man, I can't get over how good this game looks. It's incredible.
It does look amazing.
The lighting is so I had to. Have you seen rain and thunderstorms yet?
No. I've seen snow. So much snow.
Whew. Yeah.
PC version win though.
What's that?
PC version win though.
I don't know. You know what's funny is a lot of PC people are really upset.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's fair. But
it's frustrating. I think because I'm on the PC side here.
Yeah.
There's not really any obvious reason that they wouldn't put it out on PC other than they want people to buy it on console and PC.
Well, I think piracy is a big issue on PC.
But like Grand Theft Auto came out on PC.
Yeah.
I played on PC.
Yeah.
But it was like a year
I'm not
after,
gonna,
right? It came out.
I think piracy is the obvious thing.
Yeah.
And also console exclusive, like just dollars to be made from.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah, it probably
true.
is something like that.
But
Because Red Dead never ever made it to PC.
no,
Yeah.
no, that's kind of one of the most annoying things.
Yeah, that's why I
can
never
think
played it
of.
because it was not on PC.
Yep. It's out on Xbox
Don't have an
One
Xbox.
now.
Don't have an Xbox.
Is it on PlayStation?
No. Well, Xbox has that whole backwards compatibility thing.
Yeah.
Man, it looks so. The first time you see Arthur, like when he turns around, did you think he looked fantastic?
Yep. I didn't recognize him.
Yeah. so like even the way like Rockstar handled dripping out news for this is so crazy. They showed almost all the footage they showed was from the first few missions. Like they haven't showed in their very last in their game launch trailer. They showed maybe a second of Saint Denis in the background.
Right.
They
I
don't.
think that's smart, honestly.
It's so crazy, and like anticipating that reviewers would show it, like
Yep.
you know, to just work up more word of mouth.
Yep.
So that was incredible. Like I really like how they did that. So it really just left me wanting more.
Well, that's good.
About it.
As long as it doesn't leave you thinking I've seen enough.
Yeah. There are also moments where Hosea takes me out hunting for this legendary bear, and it's kind of epic. It's cool as well. Like we use bait and stuff. On the way back from this journey, I see this thing like by the river, and I'm like, "What the hell is that? Is that a moose?"
And it was got a bird on its back.
it was another bear, and it was just like
shit.
it was just
on
eating
the moose's back.
That's
That's so crazy.
It was real weird. So like I got off my horse and I just started like I crouched and started walking towards it, and then I heard a wolf and I was like, "Oh, where's this wolf coming from?" And I was just looking around me, just hoping that this wolf wasn't close to me, like hunting me down. And the bear like got up and started walking away, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And it started roaring. And I look over and it's roaring at the wolf. The wolf, this was just a lone wolf, like it just came over by itself.
Yeah.
And the bear just got up and started.
Hang on, a lone wolf? No.
No?
They should be hunting in packs. No lone wolf would try and tackle a bear. That's insane.
Well, it backed down.
Okay, good.
And that was really cool to see. Like
neat.
I had no room on my horse to like carry an animal carcass back, so I was like, I better not even.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, because the last mission I did was that bear hunting mission.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the bear, but then thinking back, I was like, how would I have gone back to camp? Because it's massive.
Because it's a bear.
It's a fucking bear.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I've got a pretty badass horse right now too.
Yeah. Did you? What horse have you got?
So I brought the Ultimate Edition. So I have like they call it a war horse.
Oh, you got a fancy horse.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's got
man.
these
Get a
huge
different
legs
horse
and
for
stuff.
buying the Ultimate Edition?
Yeah, buddy.
Shit,
Yeah, I've got
okay.
all sorts of
I
swag.
I really need a better horse, because like just before, part of that hunting mission, you trade in this like big horse.
Yeah.
And like all I could afford was like the cheapest horse, and
Yeah,
it's like
same here.
tiny.
Yeah.
It's too small.
Yeah, it's like just bigger than a donkey or something.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh man, but it's fast though, which is kind of cool. But
Yep.
like, I don't like the look of this horse.
Yeah, dude, there are like actual race horses in
yeah,
that game.
yeah. I took a look at the what is it, the compendium or whatever, and
Yeah.
like there is a lot of different, like the horse page is pretty big.
Are there wild horses?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's so I caught a wild horse. And that was really cool too, because you have to break it in.
Is catching horses and selling them a good way to make money? Because I was
not
just
sure.
thinking like,
It's
shit,
weird
I
because
could
they
just, like-
ask you for papers as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
So I'm not sure.
Like car, like I thought that's like a car. Like where's the papers? Is this stolen? Is this a hot
Yeah.
horse?
I saw a post on Reddit of there's a gun brochure in the game.
Yeah.
And then I saw a post on Reddit of someone whose like grandmother or mother or something had basically that exact same brochure.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't exact same.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Different names of guns, different gun images, and more importantly, different prices. And I think this is something that I was like a little sad about. This is just me nitpicking again, as I often do. But in the brochure and game, there's like guns that cost like $120, that sort of thing. And then in the real brochure,
Whoa, not true. $120? Are you hearing
I don't know.
this?
I haven't.
Are you hearing this, man?
I mean, I bought a horse
or-
for $15. So.
oh well, it seemed like they were quite all I know is that the brochure.
Yeah.
I can try and find the post, but it
Yeah,
was like the brochure. The real brochure had like $4 for a shotgun, and,
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
okay, yeah.
and the in-game brochure was like 10 to 20 times the price,
Well,
or whatever.
maybe
it was.
that's because like modern minds can only think
that's-
so small
that's
in
what I was-
like money wise.
Right.
Because back in the day, like I remember my grandmother talking about how she was like paid a shilling or something.
Yeah.
And I just
Well, that's part of what I was sad because I think it's
that's 10 cents.
I think there would be much more impact for like some of the things you have to do in that game if you were.
Nick, I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
I saw the same article. It's yes, there are all sorts of design elements to just kind of like cosmetic things are yes pricier.
Yeah.
But it's not. I don't remember guns being $100, but they're not $3.
I haven't looked
Right.
at the
Well,
gun prices.
More to my point is, I think it would be much more interesting as someone playing
Hmm.
to be in this world where you are robbing people for $5. Like,
Oh, that's a
That's-
huge
Yeah,
amount
but
of money.
that is a
That's
is
what
a
I'm
thing
saying.
though. Like I
it's a huge amount of money.
I stole
in
a whole bunch of like rings and shit like that, and they're only $1 each.
Yeah,
for like a gold ring.
like what I'm trying to say is they do consider that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
like the prices
cool.
are way, way, way lower than modern day. But I think the thing is that
They still
they're
have
not
to bump
as
it up.
low because like modern thinking, you'd be like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, why would I sell this for 17 pennies?
Yeah. Why is this like diamond gold ring
Yeah.
only worth like 50 cents?
But I find that so much more interesting to be like, you're this badass criminal
Yeah.
killing people for less than $1 or
Yeah,
whatever
but
it is.
I think you're still like, yeah, I get that, but you are still kind of doing that.
Yeah.
You're still robbing people for $5.
yeah. Okay.
$5 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
but,
and like it's shown in the game too.
sure.
Yeah.
Like when you rob a guy, you might have $1 from him.
Yeah,
I-
and I think like the
I'm just
inflated
saying, like,
price. I think the inflated price also stops you early on from just buying everything.
Yeah.
because you're like, oh, the store is so cheap, I'll just buy everything.
Yeah.
Not realizing that you're really spending a lot of money there.
Can I ask you how much money you have in the game?
Right now, I think I have like 20-something bucks.
Shit. Okay,
it's
that's
very
quite a lot.
gauche to talk
Oh no,
about money.
30-something bucks. Yeah.
30?
On.
Damn,
I
son.
bought my horse. Now I think I'm down to like
20 bucks?
like $15 maybe or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could get yourself a good horse, $15.
Yeah, 15. Well, $15 I could only buy the cheapest horse.
Oh.
And I couldn't even. Yeah, I stabled the big horse. I want that big horse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's not even a. It's not.
it's
Like
slow
I looked
though.
up.
that
I looked
horse.
up like the like in the horse compendium of what type of horse it is.
Mm.
It's basically a Clydesdale.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, it's for like pulling wagons and stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, I want this horse as my like
Right,
cowboy
okay.
horse.
Cool.
It's a Skyrim horse.
Huh.
Can you ride a bear?
This is not a fantasy world, Nick.
It's not Zelda.
You don't have any bear armor.
you know what's
don't have
funny
any
was,
horse armor.
You know what's funny was with Red Dead and their multiplayer, they have like your first horse that you get online.
Yeah.
Was a donkey.
Oh wow.
But you could also like I think high end you'd ride like racehorses, maybe shires, and I vaguely remember a bull.
Whoa.
in there.
Riding a bull, you get nowhere.
Yeah, but like
I mean, it's
that,
just a challenge to stay on, right?
that was how silly it was.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's
that's
crazy.
that's how silly the online
That's
got.
great.
All right.
Have you looked at any stuff about the online of Red Dead 2?
They haven't said anything.
Oh.
And it's only been like
Is the online
3 days.
accessible now?
no, it'll be out in November.
Oh, okay.
Have you got? I think they delay that intentionally. They did it for GTA as well, if I recall.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's no weird like deathmatch.
Who knows?
Is there a battle royale mode?
What's
I would
interesting
I
is-
would be very surprised if they didn't eventually put a battle royale mode
Yeah.
in there.
So
It would be a battle royale mode would be very cool with like the town in the middle.
Mm.
As the circle comes in, it's just like now it's just a gunfight in this town.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like super
And
fun.
when you're in a gunfight, man, it seriously feels like a proper like Western shootout. Like everyone's behind stuff, shooting at things. Like
Yeah.
your cover can get blown away as well.
Mm,
Like I had
that's neat.
people with a shotgun like blasting me from like I was hiding around a corner, and chunks of the wall were
Yeah.
just flying off where I was
did
peeking
you
out.
did you look at that? Because I was hiding behind a broken wagon.
Yeah.
And they do that Metal Gear Solid thing. You know how pieces of the wagon would break apart.
Yeah.
But they'd also like draw in like fragments. So
Oh,
like
yeah,
you'd
yeah.
see like jagged
Yeah.
wooden shards.
I didn't look too
In-
closely. Like I
Okay.
was in the heat of the battle, and then
Do
and one thing that's a little bit annoying in the tutorial is what's his name, Dutch.
Mm.
Every time like you want to just like loot around,
Mm.
he's yelling at you to like hurry up and like get over to him and stuff. And I'm like, dude, I want to fucking loot this place.
I have some questions. Do guns jam?
I haven't seen that yet.
Their stats do go down if you don't clean them.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. I was gonna
I
ask
did
about that.
see that you needed to maintain your gun.
Yeah, there's
which
gun
I
oil and
have.
stuff.
I've not done that yet.
It's pretty cool. You bring out your gun, you R3 it,
Yeah,
and then he'll just like
yeah.
this other menu.
Does cleaning have a cost associated with it?
Well, you have to buy gun oil. You
Okay.
can find it too. You can loot it.
Interesting. Because I know I always talk about Zelda, but I actually ended up loving the durability system of Zelda, of the necessity of constantly seeking out new items and stuff. So I was wondering
Well,
how
they
important
have
that is.
with Sorry to cut you off. With Red Dead, like the weapons that you have, you kind of I guess they want you to take ownership of it. So they offer you a lot of customization. So like, I just recently got a new. I upgraded my handgun. I've got like a gold barrel on it,
Oh my
which
god.
would probably be really weak. But
Fucking blinged
Yeah.
it out.
what's that?
You blinged it.
Yeah, but it's all like this black handgun
Got
now.
dollar signs on it.
And I put a sight on it, but like you can customize it a whole bunch.
That's cool. Does like that customization change the stats?
Yeah, if you make it, if you increase its range, it may visibly look different, like the barrel's longer,
Right.
and that will make it shoot further.
Are there drawbacks for those sorts of changes? Like,
Uh,
for example, if you're increasing the range, are you decreasing the power?
Not
Like,
with
probably
this,
not.
not with that
physically speaking.
specific one.
Yeah.
I think there's things of like, I mean, you can only have one upgrade in like one place. So if you're increasing the range in something,
That's the barrel.
yeah,
handle.
you
can't do anything.
You
else
can't do
with
like there might be other
Right.
ones,
Yeah. Okay.
because I don't know. I haven't looked at the gun customization, but I looked at like horse stuff because you can buy a whole bunch of like upgrades for saddles and
Yeah.
stuff, and they all have like bonuses and things like that.
A lot of them are cosmetics.
Yeah, yeah. A
Um,
lot of them are like, but they're ones that aren't like ones that increase speed and
Yeah,
and stuff.
the what are they? The things you put your feet in.
yeah, the
I don't know what those
Stirrups?
are. The stirrups.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then there's like saddlebags that I'm like, it doesn't say about increasing capacity or anything.
Yeah, I
but-
think Arthur's saddlebag is the one you want to upgrade, and you got to talk to Pearson about that.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Anyway,
I just went all cosmetic stuff, so it's fine.
Have you guys done?
You can customize your horse's like mane as well and tail.
yeah,
Like you can give it like dreadlocks. You can give it some crazy ass stuff.
yeah, it's really cool.
Have you guys done fishing?
Not yet.
You've done a little bit of
I've
hunting.
done a little bit of hunting.
Oh, actually, yes, I did fishing, but there wasn't a no one took me out fishing.
Right.
I just happened to be by a lake, and I started seeing fishes like come towards the edge, and I had my bow.
I thought you could say
Oh,
you
yeah.
had a shotgun. It's like,
I probably could do that
Yeah.
too.
you got some dynamite.
So you shot a fish
Yeah,
and you retrieve it.
yeah, a
cool.
few of them, and I put one on the back of my horse,
Nice.
which was cool.
I've hunted rabbits.
So
That's basically it.
you're collecting these animals. You're collecting. I assume you can collect herbs. I can remember you can
I
collect herbs. in
picked
the
a
previous
wild carrot.
Yeah,
that's
same
cool.
here. Did
Yeah.
you eat it?
No, I haven't.
So my question is, what do you do with these things?
You give them. Well, I don't know yet, but you give them to the butcher guy, right? And he'll
You can.
do stuff. Or you like I cooked the rabbit over a fire, so
Yeah.
and then like ate some of the meat and then like stored it for later.
Is there a hunger meter? Is it just life?
There's a stamina meter, and there's like a core
Yeah.
thing that
Y-
I'm
yeah,
not
there's like a-
100% on.
Yeah,
I
there's a
don't
core
understand.
health meter, and
Yeah.
and that's sort of like, what would it be? It would be like, if you go to sleep, you would restore it entirely. But if you stay up a long time,
It starts to diminish.
yeah, and then to the point where it will actually affect how quickly your stamina regenerates.
Okay.
So it's an additional thing that complements stamina.
Right.
So yeah, eating whatever certain items will add to that, and
Yep.
you've also got your Deadeye system as well.
Okay.
So you have like cigarettes will like decrease your core thing, but also bump up your Deadeye meter.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't
which may be
I haven't
something-
used a Deadeye.
Oh, seriously?
No.
That's like a big,
Yeah, it's like one of the main mechanics of the game.
and it's like a big thing when you're hunting too.
It activated itself when the bear came on, but I thought I haven't.
If you aim and hit R3,
Yeah.
it'll go into Deadeye.
Okay.
it's a pretty big thing.
Right.
One cool thing was hunting like just deer.
Yeah.
You'll just be in the bush, and then you could like call for it, so you whistle, and then it'll stick its head up.
That's cool.
I like the whistle. How you know how like. Well, in The Witcher, or almost any game with a horse, you hit the whistle button and it just whistles. This is like you can hold it down and it whistles
Longer
longer.
whistle?
You can tap it and it'll do like a couple of short little whistles.
Yeah.
It's like a thing that's completely unnecessary but pretty cool at the same time.
There's a lot of that, man.
Yeah.
In that game.
Personal hygiene.
Oh, I haven't dealt with any of that
Have
yet.
you guys gotten muddy?
I got muddy once, but then he cleaned himself like as part of the story, and then
Mm.
I was like, I don't know if I'm.
Did you go to the hotel and clean yourself?
No, he just went to a barrel and like
that
cleaned
true?
himself. Yeah.
Okay.
But that was part of the story. That was like after a bar fight, and then what's his name, Dutch is like, "Oh, clean yourself up,"
Yeah.
and he just walks over to a barrel and splashes water on himself, and it's like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, you can bathe.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Have you experienced any
Name calling?
well, just like divergences in gameplay because of your personal hygiene?
I try to keep myself not shaved.
Not shaved.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a beard?
And a little
You got a full
dusty.
beard?
No, not a full beard, but he looks like a grizzly dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks intimidating. Is the look I want to give off.
How long can that beard get?
I don't know.
Are we
We'll find
talking
out.
wizard?
I don't know. I've only seen it like as like a not a wizard beard, but a pretty big, pretty substantial beard.
Mm.
Like,
But you see some chops, man. Like some of the NPCs.
Yeah.
They've got chops.
oh man, you've mucked around with the shaving system?
Yeah.
So what's interesting?
Shaving system.
This is
2018.
This is one of these things. This is one of these things that's like completely not necessary, but
Yeah.
cool at the same time. Is that like, so you've got like, say you've got like a full beard, and you're like, all right, I want to like, shave.
Yeah.
In other games, you'd go through a whole bunch of like different like styles, and it would show on your character. No matter what size, no matter what like length the hair is,
Yeah.
it'll just like change all over the
Yeah,
place.
you could go from bald to afro.
Yeah. In this, it's like, no, you've got the length that it's at now,
And you can only go shorter?
and you can only go shorter,
Yep.
Right.
right? And specific spots, so you can
Right.
be like mutton chops,
Yep.
like mustache, like
Good.
thing, and like,
That's
Yeah.
some nonsense when you're like,
It's-
I've got buzz cut and I'm gonna go to mohawk.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
but
frustrates
actually,
me.
your thing of saying, can you get wizard size? Maybe you can, because like, there's a bar of
Yeah.
like how short it can get.
Yeah.
Or how much, like, basically how much hair you have to work with.
Yeah.
And mine was like maybe a quarter,
Okay.
and it was like a pretty big beard.
Cool.
So
All right.
maybe you can get a full like
Yeah.
hillbilly man.
I have a
beard.
challenge for both of you. See how long you can get that beard.
Yeah, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'll send a screenshot.
I wanna
of my
see-
fucking giant beard.
And I also want to see how dirty your character can get.
Oh my god.
Like, I want to, if you can get it
Yeah.
beardy and dirty, basically see if you can become like a wild man.
Yeah.
Big, dirty, bearded
That's-
man.
Have you been drunk in the game yet?
No.
Okay.
How do they handle that?
They do all sorts of screen effects. They'll muddle it heavily depending on how drunk you get. There's a specific mission that I'm talking about, and it's quite hilarious. I actually laughed out loud because it was so.
Do you want to spoil it?
No, but it's with Lenny, so
Okay.
you'll hang out with Lenny. Do you remember Grand Theft Auto's like weed tripping scene?
Is this when you first get back to the city as Trevor?
No,
I
no.
remember something.
Blake,
Oh,
you know
oh
what I'm
yes,
talking
yes,
about?
yes.
No,
Actually,
I-
I
Well, you're
do.
Michael, and you talk to the guy
Yeah,
who.
dude in a courtyard, and you go.
Do you
and
start
shoot
seeing
aliens.
monsters or
Yes.
something?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he's seeing
that-
aliens,
Yeah.
that was a weird one.
and he's like skydiving out of
Yeah.
it.
Yes, I remember that.
So it's very indicative of that.
Okay. Interesting.
I found it very funny.
Wait, so you get drunk and you start hallucinating?
This one's handled a little differently, and you just have to.
I would
see.
believe if like you went out and met some like Native Americans and they gave you some tea and you started hallucinating.
The funny thing is the cuts that they do, like during this, because there are cuts, like
Yeah.
it'll just be a
Like
cut
scene
scene and stuff.
jumps. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, and then you have control over some parts of it, but it's handled really well. I
Cool.
think.
I'm always interested to see how people do inebriation in games because it's always handled. Every game handles it differently.
Mm.
World of Warcraft, for example, I remember things get blurry and your character starts to
Yeah.
zigzag.
Mm.
Sea of Thieves is like that as well. Like, you can't walk on a straight line,
Yeah.
and you'll easily fall off the boat. and you can start vomiting just sporadically as well.
I'm always see it's always interesting
Yeah.
seeing how they try and create like mechanics out of a
Yeah.
mental state. I think are there any features you guys really want to address?
Features?
Yeah, or like moments that you guys haven't talked about yet? Because we're
That-
almost out of time.
Man, that day night cycle is real good.
Yeah.
The lighting, like, you've got to see that shit.
Actually, what's really cool was that I noticed that like mission stuff and I guess quests and things that you can interact with change depending on the time of day. Because I
Oh, like
went
Skyrim.
get out of here. because I did this. I did a
Well,
mission.
man, Nick. Oh, wait, sorry, but
Yeah.
I really don't like those interruptions because I think it's completely different. Like this game compared to how Skyrim would do it. Just
I don't know. You haven't played.
You
Skyrim.
haven't you. It's almost like you're saying I don't need to play Red Dead.
I play Skyrim.
I mostly do it to raise Severn's ire.
It's man,
Well, you're doing it.
It's working. Sorry, go on.
Crazy.
But man, Zelda. No, but there was a mission I got to go into town, do some stuff in town, and it was like I basically ended up spending the day in town, like doing stuff. And then as like evening came, I like came back into town, and like, I mean, as you'd expect, everything had changed. Different people walking around, people were drunk and stuff like that. But I go into the bar, and it's like a bunch of my crew are in the bar, and it starts a whole new like mission basically, or like what would you even call?
Is it cool how seamless that is?
Yeah,
Like,
and it's completely seamless.
what happens is the cinematic mode, like the black bars will just come in, so you know it's cinematic.
Yeah.
And I really like how they handle it just when you're traveling places too. But when you walk into the bar and you see, is it a Xavier?
Yeah,
Like you
a
see him?
couple of the guys.
And
I
Bill?
can't remember their names. Yeah.
Yeah. So you go over there and the black bars come in and a situation happens.
And it usually comes up with like a little title of the
mission.
of the mission.
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't even call them missions because they're so natural. It's not like a mission where like you go into a quest board and like selecting a bunch of quests. It's like it's like just it's just like a part of life almost. Like you just have a conversation with someone. Like the hunting thing, you just walk up to the guy and he's like, "You want to go hunting?" And you're like, "You're right." And then it's like this whole thing. It's just completely like
it's cool. There's no loading. Like it's just really good.
Yeah.
Right. It feels natural.
yeah. It
Was
feels
there
natural.
like an indicator on the mini map or anything?
Well, what you go up to him and for this hunting one particularly, you go up to him and the dialogue option is go hunting,
okay.
and so that is a signal that this will start a mission. Because I was wondering like that would that get annoying if you're just like you're on your way somewhere and you want to talk, you don't want to like
You don't wanna
get involved
get
into a
sidetracked,
side
basically.
mission. Yeah. But if it's signaled like that, then it's fine.
Well, so I mean, the reason I ask about the minimap is because GTA 5, there were times when you would just get close to an area and it would go into a similar thing, but you would know you were headed
Right.
towards a mission because there was a big icon
the
on the
minimap
minimap.
does show that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's
minimap
exactly the
does show
same
it.
system.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what's cool is the flip side, and I always think of Tomb Raider, is like when they have a switch and it's the only thing you can interact with, but you have to walk and you have to position yourself in front of it a certain way,
Yeah.
and you have to press that button. and
Right.
That's the only thing you can do in that moment.
Right.
Whereas in Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto 5, you walk towards it, and it kind of just blends into it because
cool.
that's the thing that you're gonna do.
They're very good at integrating story and the world. They've always been quite good at that, I think.
Yep. So I'll say that apparently Rockstar has started ramping up Bully 2 development.
I heard-
Rumor has
Yeah, I
it.
heard
You
some
heard
rumors
about this?
Yeah.
And what's funny is like Rockstar's in a really cool like game developer wise, how I admire them so much. They're in this really cool position where they're only making believable worlds, a heavy focus on like rendering and making characters and animations and things.
Yeah.
You know, they're not making monsters and stuff, so they're very narrow in that in
Yeah.
what they're focusing on.
Yeah, they just keep layering their tech on.
Yeah, and so Bully's interesting because it's very dialogue focused, and if this rumor is true, it makes complete sense because maybe they can double down on improving this dialogue system,
Yes, please.
and well, it all kind of feeds back into Grand Theft Auto. Like it's really funny.
It does seem like Grand Theft Auto is their flagship, and then before they release every flagship title, they do these side projects, quote unquote side projects,
Yeah.
which are actually massive.
Although I mean,
huge,
I
impressive
wouldn't say
games.
I wouldn't say Red Dead is a side
Right,
project.
right. But like it's these things, and they have these impressive systems that all end up getting fed back into GTA.
Yeah, and like again, just as a game developer, like I really admire that kind of work and just how it plays out because yes, it makes a whole lot of sense to now work on Bully 2 and just really focus on writing interactions,
Yeah.
just that kind of social system, especially like given that system like it's high school, it's like it's just drama.
It's pretty much only social systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool. And I haven't played Bully before, so if that's true.
It's a much smaller world, or at least the first one was a much smaller world. So I'm interested to see, because like, the open world and high detail big areas are so core to Rockstar of the last decade, basically, that like, what is
a more
Bully,
focused?
Yeah, what does Bully
version
2
of
actually
that?
look
Yeah.
like? Is it just like the school in the immediate area, or is it like much bigger than that? Are there multiple schools? Like,
Yeah.
Who knows?
Speaking to Rockstar as well, like there are games that will focus like their graphics in a kind of clean style, like Gran Turismo comes to mind.
Yep.
And that's very. When I was studying 3D, it was like it was very 3D when you see that kind of thing, and Rockstar kind of
what do you mean by that?
like everything's so clean, it's
Mm.
sterile.
It's
Right.
shiny, everything, because that's cars, man.
Well, it's
Like,
it's
you-
3D. You
clean
don't you
lines and-
Like
but-
the nicest looking car is the shiniest looking car, and you can do that in 3D like really well. You can
Right.
make a nice super shiny thing.
Right.
But not only that, it's like dust is not a thing that exists in 3D.
Right.
So it's the most cleanest
Mm.
thing on the planet.
Yeah.
But Rockstar was cool, and very few other games will go the gritty route.
Yeah.
And I really like how they did that, because like the way they, like when I say mud looks really really awesome in this game, it behaves well too.
Mm.
Dude, the thing with that mud is it makes me not want to walk in it.
What? So pristine?
Yeah, no, because not because like it looks nice, because it'll get on your clothes.
Oh yeah.
Like it looks like that mud is gonna stick to me.
Yeah, in Valentine,
Yeah.
I went in to have a bath, like
Yeah.
in the hotel. Then I came out to my clean horse, rocking
Yeah,
clean gear,
straight in the mud.
and that Valentine's like whole thing is just
Yeah.
mud.
Yeah.
So like,
That's why you got to stick to those sidewalks, man. That's I was thinking that like when you first get into that town,
Yeah.
and it's just like a mud pit is the main road.
Yeah.
Like you really realize why those sidewalks were so elevated.
Yeah.
Right. I'd be very curious to see how weather affects the mud. Like, does Valentine? I assume Valentine is the name of the first town.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Does that mud dry out if it's sunny for several days?
you can definitely see it, and puddles and stuff.
That's-
It's cool because they're using parallax and just with gravel and stuff. So
Sure.
they can do puddles.
But does that mud change based on weather?
What's funny is if you have mud on your clothes and then you start walking around, it does dry up.
Sure. But what about the world? Like the world.
I don't
mud?
know.
That's my question, I guess.
Like for that mud to dry up, it's gotta be pretty hot. It's gotta be a pretty hot.
yeah, but like
season.
a couple days of no rain
Yeah.
and
We'll see. I don't know,
yeah.
That-
Um,
because it is basically winter, right? Isn't it? Like
What do you mean? In Red Dead?
yeah, at the time, because you come down like there was a massive blizzard that overtook like the whole
Mm.
area.
Well, I think if you're in Valentine, it's just normal weather.
Oh, okay.
Because yeah, you are.
I thought they had just like come out of like some major like storm type of thing or something.
Oh yeah, like
Why
the
it's,
blizzard's passed.
Yeah. That's why like I noticed at night like all the roofs were like dripping and stuff, because I thought like some sort of winter had just, because they were talking about like waiting for a thaw to happen.
Mm.
You know, for the
that's
ice to thaw off.
THAW for
Wait,
non-Kiwis.
waiting for God of
Mjolnir?
Thunder to show up and the Avengers. Yeah, because they're talking about waiting for a thaw, so they're waiting for like the harshest winter to sort of thaw out.
Yeah. Did that look really impressive to you when you were coming down the mountain?
It was such a good
He
like.
nodded.
I hate. Yeah. I nodded.
Good audio there.
Yeah. They can hear it.
Man, it's so cool. Like all the trees are twisted.
Yeah.
But you the thing that the journalists were talking about, like you do see the snow receding and then vegetation starts sprouting up.
That's cool.
That's
Holy
what
crap, man.
That's what I've always wanted in a game.
Yeah.
Because so many games go from like one biome to another in like a very obvious change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was not that obvious
Mm.
until I was already well
Zelda's
out of it
quite
and was
guilty
like,
of
oh
that.
yeah, it's what's that?
Wait,
Zelda's quite guilty
Yeah.
of that.
oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
the seam?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
his-
mean, it's not like there's a seam, but it's a pretty quick transition, and
Mm.
you can tell.
It's not a Zelda thing, man. Like a lot of games.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking like World of Warcraft is like the
Oh,
worst
yes.
because it's like you go from one zone to another and it's like, oh, this zone is boiling hot and this zone is like
Yeah.
a swamp.
Yeah, yeah, the Badlands. Swamp
Yeah.
of Sorrows is a good
Yeah,
example.
Swamp of Sorrows is right next to like the Badlands. It's like a desert right next to a swamp.
Yeah, they've got a few.
And
of
they've
those.
just got a hill.
I remember
You just go over a hill and you're in a desert.
going from Tarn Mill, which is like a grim, dark,
Yeah.
like foresty, wooded area, into the Plague Land, which is like suddenly it's just fog.
Yeah.
And everything's dead. And It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. It's like literally a 10-foot transition. It's pretty sad. But-
Do you guys remember that there's a scene in Jurassic Park? I think it was like the second one where like the hunters are just like going through this field and there's all these dinosaurs kind of running around.
Yeah.
They're trying
Is
to
it
like
the-
capture
the
dinosaurs.
Top down and you see the
Yeah.
raptors in the tall grass.
Oh no
Is that
no!
one?
It's like heaps of dinosaurs. It's
Oh.
like this hunting company's coming in
Oh.
and they start trapping.
Okay, yeah, no, I
dinosaurs.
do
Do you
remember
remember
that.
that?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Where
that-
they're on their bikes and shit.
They're on
and
bikes. They're on
yeah.
cars that have like seats that come out,
Yep,
and the guy
I
pulls his
definitely
rifle
remember
out.
that.
Do you,
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
remember the scene?
And
Nick?
they're just picking off dinosaurs.
Vaguely.
Like,
It's like
I saw that movie ages ago and never again.
yeah.
there are like just heaps of. So I had
Yeah.
I had a moment like that in Red Dead where I was just like
Dinosaurs?
coming across. Yeah, dinosaurs
Wow,
across
that game
across
gets
the
better and
plains.
better.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, I was tracking back from the grizzly bear
Mhm.
incident, and I looked over and I saw bison. And I was like, oh my goodness,
Oh, wow.
bison! And it's really cool. You see birds like flocking away. They're just like happening. Like they're just
Yeah.
hanging out.
Yeah.
And what's cool is like you can shoot them also.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to interact with them.
You want to
So-
interact? Shoot them.
so I see these bison, like a group of them, and I'm just
Sure.
admiring them. And I'm like, all right, I better get back. I've got a carcass on my horse. I don't want it to spoil or anything. So I start going back, and it's quite a trek. So I'm going across this huge plain.
Yeah.
And there's just like deer hopping around out of my way. There's like things across the ground. It's just, ducks in formation flying
wow.
over you. It's really cool, man. So,
So just dense with wildlife.
yeah,
That's cool.
it's incredible.
Well,
That's great.
I'm
That I've just finished that grizzly thing, and I looked on the map of where I am, and
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a long, long way from the camp.
Yeah, get ready for it, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be plenty more Red Dead talk over the coming weeks, but we're out of time. We've got some questions. In fact, we've got an update about Project Phoenix, which I have to read through.
Mm.
So we'll address that in maybe next week's podcast.
There's I think I split up a one letter into a couple of paragraphs.
Right.
That would be good if you read just the first one, and then next
is
week
it
we'll
the ones
read.
from Hans?
Yep.
Okay. Do you want me to read that first one?
Yeah, I don't
Alright.
remember what the first one is, but
Hi,
yeah, we'll
guys.
Split it up.
Great episode with Bex. That was really fun to get to know her a little bit more. I think Bex pronounced Imgur correctly, like image
Imager?
or yeah.
Imager?
I think it's Imgur.
Imager.
I think it's
You're putting an A in it.
Imager?
Imagine.
there's no way. It's just Imgur.
Imgur.
Yeah.
Is it Imgur?
That's
terrible.
Hey man, I didn't
What a
name it.
terrible name.
It's actually
Nick,
Im. It's,
what? What's going on?
it's Imgur. actually.
Imgur.
No. How is that better? Imgur, that's terrible. It's Imgur. I'm pretty sure that the staff there made some post once to address that question, so it's not Imgur, but it's supposed to be pronounced like Imager. Cheers, Hans. There you go.
Imager.
Yeah,
So it is
it
Imager.
makes sense. Like
Imager.
Imgur. But they should have put an A in there, probably. Imager would have been a much better name. Although then you'd probably read it as Imager.
Imager.
Imager. Imager. Anyway, that's your question for the week.
Let's say Imager a few more times. Imager.
We'll let Blake just repeat that as we take you out.
Imager.
If you want to email us, frontseatquestions@gmail.com. You can tell us how you're enjoying Red Dead or Zelda, whatever. Frontseatcast at Frontseatcast is our Twitter. Facebook.com/frontseatcast is our Facebook page.
Facebook cage.
You
Oh
don't
my
want to get
goodness.
locked in there. I'll
Whoa,
tell you
man.
what.
Is that how you think of Facebook, as a cage?
A little bit? It
You're
does
just
feel
trapped
like a
in, you
trap,
can't,
right?
Once you're in, you can't get out.
Yeah, especially when at least because my family lives overseas.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I have a Facebook account. Is
Oh,
because
man, so you're forced into it.
yeah, it feels a bit
Forced
like
into that cage.
that. YouTube.com/frontseatcast is our YouTube cage. Twitch.tv is where /frontseatcast is where Saveun sits in his cage and plays.
Have you played anything
Games.
recently?
No, dude. This Red Dead.
Stream some Red Dead.
I can't stream it
Yeah.
right now. Because-
How would that even work? Like, can you can stream it on Twitch? Because I've seen
Yeah.
things.
Yep. Well, I like the 4K HDR, and I'd be sacrificing it if I was to stream.
Right. Yeah.
I will at some point, but right now I'm just
Once you're
enjoying it.
happy with,
You need equipment though, right?
Yeah, sorry, I'm waiting for equipment too.
Yeah, okay.
So I've got a HDMI pass through.
Yeah.
And a HDMI to PC dongle.
this is not the most compelling.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. But Nick, if you wanted to
So
stream,
you're
you
buying-
you could get in on that.
You're
That's
buying
correct.
all this stuff, and then Nick is like saying to me, "Don't waste your money on a $30 pop filter."
I'm saying that $30 pop filter on these relatively cheap microphones is probably not going to make much of a difference. That's all I'm saying. Twitch. That's we've already talked about Twitch. So we're on Spotify. We're also, you should rate us on iTunes and other podcast apps if you're using them. We've seen some good reviews. We love seeing them. And we sometimes get people who said they've told their friends, and we love that too. So thank you for those people. We're part of the Australasian Gaming Podcast Network. That's hashtag AGPN on Twitter, and facebook.com/groups/AGP Network on Facebook. Thanks, Leanne, for our logo. That's Leanne Bouton on Tumblr, and Andrew for our awesome theme music. That's notfornothing.com. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks, probably with more Red Dead talk. We'll see you then. Bye! Notice we both dropped F-bombs?
Yes.
You dropped one really early.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I caught myself and looked over.
No,
as
I
well.
started laughing
Yeah.
immediately. I was like,
Yeah, I laughed because of your reaction.
because
Goddamn.
I was like, you guys do it, you don't notice it. And then you deep out.
I did notice it. I did it twice.
I know.
I realized it just happens.
I know. This is what
But
I'm
I
saying.
thought I did pretty good. I'm gonna pat myself on the back.
Ideally,
Only 2.
try.
Well done, Blake.